What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Been kind of working on this harness here and there a little bit, and I haven't really recorded too much of it because it's a matter of just tying in some light bulbs at this time. Well, it was. And I got all that sorted out. For the most part. I still got to figure out the rear brake lights. We're getting there. I might have to run a wire from the brake light switch to the taillights, but whatever. So, been installing all new pigtails all the way around. I mean, I'm talking high beams, low beams, front turn signals, front marker lights. We have new circuit boards in the rear, all new assemblies all the way around. This thing is getting the works. I don't want any problems with it down the road. With that, it's really simple to be done. On your turn signals especially, you have 3 wires. You're gonna have a ground, which is usually black. Not always, but usually. And you're gonna have your 2 powers on this turn signal. This is like an 1157. No, this is, I don't remember exactly what bulb this is. Sorry, you're gonna have one filament being a parking light, and then the other one is gonna come on as this one's on, or not, as your turn signal, and it'll flash on and off. And it's really simple. This just goes directly to ground, and then these 2 go directly to your power source of either your marker light or your signal light. That's the same way pretty much with your marker lights all the way around. If they're a single filament, you're gonna have a hot and you're gonna have a ground, or yeah, you're gonna have a hot and you're gonna have a ground. You can't really mess that up. And the ground, you can go straight to the chassis at any point. I made little tiny spots where all my lights kind of share the same common ground on each side of the vehicle. Easy to go to when I need to. This is what my harness is looking like now. I got the fan harness extended and ran all the way down as well. I ran that on some 10 gauge wire so I don't have to worry about amp draw or anything. We got another coat of paint on our grill and it's looking so much better. I did kind of mess up when I went and bought these pigtails. They didn't have 4 of the same, so I kind of gambled on one side and made an impulse decision instead of just ordering the right ones. So I'm gonna have to redo it because it doesn't quite fit. I have a pretty gnarly gap on this side compared to over here, as you can tell. And all it's doing is it's just kind of back there pushing up against the radiator support. So whatever, no big deal. The grill's got to come off later on down the road anyway, so I'll just adjust that then. What else have I been doing? I am at the point where I'm going to be messing around with this. You have a main feed wire that comes out of this and goes to your 12 volt ignition. Now this is hooked up to my continuous duty relay on this side. And I have it hooked up that way because that is feeding my alternator. My fuse box is going to be feeding the power to my alternator for it to kick on and start charging. Now, if you're familiar with any vehicle that has a kill switch in it, the point of the kill switch is to turn everything off no matter what. A lot of people don't take into consideration of how they run the alternator. I have the alternator ran. This post goes directly to a power post, like my starter. That's where it feeds back into the battery and charges. But you have what's called like an exciter wire, I guess is the right term for it. And that's this single wire here that goes to my fuse box that gets at 12 volts that I have a resistor, 470, I believe it was, ohm resistor to knock it down and make it trick itself to, I think it was a 5 volt reference. By doing that, it tells this alternator to, hey, I need to start charging. But instead of running this directly to the battery and start charging the battery, or however everybody else is running it, I have it ran to the back of that continuous duty relay. So when I turn off my kill switch, it's gonna kill it completely. There is no backfeeding. There's no possible chance this thing's gonna stay running with that switch off. Plain and simple. I'm gonna kick in every now and then here, just kind of give you a rundown of where I'm going with things. I'm really just trying to get this wiring knocked out, but I'm really trying to keep you guys in the loop as you watch and figure out how to do your own wire harness maybe, or your own switch panels. All right, so I'm in process of getting my power wire ran to my alternator from the fuse box, my 12-volt source. I already have the resistor wired in up here, but I also wanted to put a diode in this right here. And what that's going to do is help it from backfeeding. Because like I said earlier, the last thing I want to do is have any chance of this thing going to continue to run when I have a kill switch off. So if I have power cut, I want power cut, man. I want absolutely no chance of this thing running when that switch is off. This will help with that. Alright guys, I got a little bit of an update for y'all. So, little less spaghetti here, little more cleaned up. I got my little relay block. Man, I don't know if you can see it. Wow. I got a little relay block set up there for all my lights. I'll give you a brief little rundown on what I did there. The only thing I have left to do is mount my headlight switch, run my indicator lights, and that's about it on this side of things. Tie up my fan powers, and then it's on to this side, cleaning up the Holly side, wrapping everything in conduit, running my communication wires for the fans so the Holly can turn it on and off. And then I want to pull the top of this dash out and probably paint it black. So we're well on our way. It's a lot of wires I took out of this thing, man. But all the lights work. And I'll show you that here in a little while. But for now, I'm gonna start ripping apart this dash, the top of the dash off, and we're gonna paint it black. Because that shiny, polished aluminum has got to go. It's gonna blind me. Update! Got the whole dash out of this thing again, but it gives me plenty of room to now mount the relays for the Holly and whatnot. I have to put another nutsert over there for the continuous duty relay, and then I can run some looming, make it a little bit prettier. But before I start doing all that, I want to get a coat of paint on the dash. That means I gotta get all that shiny crap off of there so the paint has something to stick. Wow, terrible idea. But I think it'll be worth it in the long run. It's raining, so I can't do anything outside, which really sucks, but I'm glad this is in the garage. I'll be back. All right, guys, this thing is finally sanded down. It's finally prepped. Let's get some color on it. It's going to look good. And hopefully it stays looking good. I've never painted diamond plate before, so we're gonna have to see what happens. We're gonna wing it. Let's go. Dash is painted black and it looks great. I think it turned out freaking awesome. A lot better than I would have thought it did. Hopefully it holds up. So I still have to do the faceplate for it, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit on that anyways because I still have some tidying up I need to do on the firewall with the Holly system and whatnot. And I'm gonna get to that here in just a few. I just want to kind of show you the mess of things that I got going on. So bam, it's empty again. There's my continuous duty relay that I was telling you guys about. That runs pretty much power to the fuse box and the Holly. So once everything's turned, once that master switch is turned off, it cuts all power to this because the master switch ties into this. And then there's my diode right there so it doesn't back surge. I gotta clean that up and make it look a little prettier. But anyways, I have a few things that I need to tidy up down in here. There are a few relays that I need to mount up against here. and I'm gonna run some looming, and right here are my fan switch wires for the control. We are getting close to putting this dashboard back in and finishing up some fine details. Don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but I am rocking the new merch, the new shirt that I just released. It's got Frank on the back, looking all nice and spicy. Go check out the new merch, guys. I've been kicking butt on this wiring for the past couple weekends now, and that's why it's kind of taken me so long to get this video out. But here is the mostly finished result. There's still a few things I gotta tidy up and, you know, make to a more of a standard, but I'm pretty content with this right now for a few test drives. Check this out. Power. So this is gonna be the left signal. Yeah. Yeah. Sweet. Go ahead and pop that off. Here's the right signal. Look at that. Your boy kind of knows what he's doing. And then this will be headlights. Down there we got the high beam. Yes, sir. And then this one here is the marker lights. Go ahead and kick that on. Give you a little walk around. Yeah, I got a marker light bulb out. Ugh! Frank has got lights, guys. Come back here. We got lights back here. The marker lights are on. This is sweet. I'm super stoked about this. And just to show you that the turn signal works with the brake lights. So we got turn signal on, brakes on, other side stays on, off. Yeah. Doesn't turn out too bad. Got the dash black, nice little two-tone accent going on. I like it. Now all we have to do is mount our gauges and our terminator screen. But if I get the gauges there, I might not run the terminator screen. So I'm kind of holding off on that a little bit. So I just kind of wanted to give you a pointer on how I ran my relay harnesses, or relay wires I should say, for the brake lights, because this is something that kind of I fought back and forth a lot with this, and I finally had to do a lot more digging and figure out what I found. So to run the turn signals and brake lights, I have 4 relays total, I believe. I have 2 for the front turn signals that are 4-pin relays, and then I have 2 for the back that are 5-pin relays. And that's also tied in, the 5-pin relays are also tied into my brake light switch. That is how I'm able to have brake lights on one side and then it's still flashing on the other side. And I'll show you how I did this. So on your 5-pin relay, you obviously have 5 pins. And they're all, from what I've seen, they're all labeled, and a lot of them have a little diagram on the top, which helps out a lot. But for what you don't know is I go around on the sides and I label what is what, so I don't have to keep looking at it. So like 85, pin 30, pin 86, and pin 87, and the very center one is pin 87A. So with that in mind, plug this back in. So with that in mind, I ran my pin 87 to my flasher relay and the fuse box directly to that. And then you have pin 87A, which is the middle one, that is ran to my brake light switch for the brake lights go on. And then you have your other ones, your ground, which is 85, pin 85. You have your pin 86, which goes to my dash switch for the turn signals, and then I have pin 30, which goes to the shared circuit for my turn signals, since my turn signals share the same bulb as the brake lights and the parking lights. So dual filament bulb, dual purpose, or I should say triple purpose actually, because it's the marker, brake light, and turn signal, and this controls it. So when my brakes are on, this will work as normal, and then when my flasher is on, this will take over this one and it'll light up the bulb with the flasher. Sounds pretty simple, it sounds pretty complicated at the same time, and it threw me for a loop. I just wanted to share that little bit of information for all y'all that might be digging for some ideas or whatever like I was. So there you have it. That is pretty much how you run your own wire harness and route your own taillights and stuff like that. Now, I'm sure on a lot of other systems, there will be a lot of other different applications. I pretty much used the bare minimum circuits that I needed to use. Turn signals, headlights, taillights. I don't even have 4-ways because I can turn both lights on and I'll have 4-ways. I was hoping to end this video with me driving it and test driving it, but that didn't work out because, well, I need to find a banjo bolt for the brake line, and I have a new brake line I need to install because that one's trashed. It's also puking out power steering fluid on the steering box. It's a disaster. And I think one of these pulleys might be bad also. I think it's this one, because it was screaming. So test drive's gonna have to wait. I can't check the transmission fluid because I can't have it running long enough because it's just screaming and causing a whole bunch of chaos. So as much as it sucks, that's gonna have to wait till the next video. But stay tuned, hang in there. I'm gonna try to get some of these parts sourced, and we're gonna try to get this thing going, man. It's so close. Like the video, comment on the video, give me y'all's feedback. I love to hear it. I respond back. After all, it's you guys that keep me posting videos and keep me going. I can't wait to get back on this. Frank has taken up too much time and money. I can't wait to get back on this. Y'all have a nice day.